Hi, welcome to my topic Circuits and Networks. I am Ravikant Malajoshula and today we are going to discuss with Thevenin's theorem. Already we have done with class 1 and today we are going to go with class 2. In class 1 we have seen the basic definition for Thevenin's theorem as well as some basic problems involved with Thevenin's theorem. In today's class we are going to discuss Thevenin's theorem in further detail. In order to understand this concept in better way, I have selected this problem where we need to find out the value of current through 280 ohms using this theorem. So let us start with the problem. We have to remember the basic rules to find out the Thevenin's theorem. That is, first we need to remove the load from the main circuit. Then we need to calculate Thevenin's voltage, which is also called as open circuit voltage. And then we need to find out Thevenin's resistance. So let us start with the problem. So as I told you, let us remove load from the main circuit, that is the given network. So this is how the networks look like. So the figure 1 is changed to figure 1.a where we have removed the load, that is the 280 ohms from the main circuit, and these are the 2 points we need to find out Thevenin's voltage, or we call as open circuit voltage, and then later on we are going to find out Thevenin's resistance. So this is what we are going to find out for this particular problem. Now, in order to find out Thevenin's voltage, first you see here 120 volts. It's a voltage source, or called as the active source, which is driving this particular circuit, and we need to find out open circuit voltage at this point as well as this point. For easy analysis, I have identified plus over this point, minus over this point, because it's a voltage measurement. With the help of multimeter or voltmeter, you can find out the value of voltage in this particular circuit. Now, if the voltage source is connected parallel to these two resistors, why I'm saying it parallel? Because from this positive plate to this particular point and this negative plate for this particular point, we don't have any other resistance. Therefore, we can say 128 volts is parallelly connected to this resistor and this resistor in series with the other two resistors. Now, the given values of resistors are 720 ohms and 420 ohms. So if at all the current has to travel in this particular branch, that is from this point to this point, this is how the path is chosen, and the voltage developed across 720 ohms and 420 ohms follow this phenomena. Now you can see I1 is flowing in 720 ohms and the same current is in series with 420 ohms, so the same current is flowing. So that is how we have estimated the branch current flowing in this particular resistor as well as in this resistor. If that is true, we have voltage, we have resistors, so we can find out the value of current I1 or the branch current I1 with the help of Ohm's law. Now with the help of Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. Therefore, we need to find out the value of I. Then it becomes voltage by the equivalent resistance. The equivalent resistance, that is a series resistance in this particular branch, becomes 720 ohms in series with 420 ohms. So 720 plus 420 is the R equivalent for this particular branch. So if this is the condition, we are going to obtain the value of current I1, which is equal to 0.1122 amperes. Now remember this current, this is the branch current what we have obtained in this particular branch. Now with this the current, we can find out the value of voltage drop in 720 ohms as well as in 420 ohms. The same rule we are going to apply for other series resistors, that is 640 ohms, which is in series with 840 ohms. Now these two are in series, therefore the same current I2 will flow in 640 as well as in 840, and this is how the voltage drops will develop across 640 and 840. Why we have estimated positive on the upper plate, negatives on the lower plate? Because we are assuming the 128 volts, the positive terminal at this point and the negative terminal at this point. I hope you understand this logic. With this, I can find out the value of current I2, which is obtained as 0.0864 amperes. Now we got the branch currents I1, I2. After obtaining the branch currents, applying KVL to the upper loop. Now what is this upper loop? Now you see I1 was flowing in this direction, so the voltage developed was in this direction, and the same current I2 which is flowing in this resistor has developed the voltage drop in this direction. The resistors which were present on the upper part of this particular loop are 720 ohms as well as 640 ohms, and we need to calculate the open circuit voltage at this point, at this point. So I'm going to apply KVL to the upper part of this loop. So I'm going to apply KVL with starting from minus, because we are starting from here, minus VTH minus 720 I1 plus 640 I2 equal to 0. So this is what we have done. We have applied the KVL on the upper loop and we got the value of V Thevenin's, which is equal to minus 720. And what is the value of I1? Just now we have seen the value of I1 which was obtained as 0.1122 amperes. So multiplying with this resistance, I'm going to get the drop over here. Similarly, as I got the value of current I2, I'll get the voltage drop across 640 ohms as 640 into I2. I2 is nothing but 0.0864 amperes. With this, I'm going to obtain the value of V Thevenin's, which is equal to open circuit voltage, which is equal to minus 25.434 volts. Now, once we obtain the value of voltage, let us shift our attention to the R equivalent. To find out R equivalent, the major step is, if at all you have the active voltage source, it has to be short circuited, and if at all you have a current source, it has to be open circuited. Since in the problem we have 120 volts over this particular point, so that is being shorted over here. Once this is shorted, this is how the resistor equivalent will be changed. Now we need to find out the resistance over these 2 points. Therefore, the given values of resistors are 720, 640, 420, 840. Now this equivalent circuit can be further changed to this equivalent circuit. Just I have taken this wire which is outside of this particular loop inside the loop. Okay. Now with this resemblance, we can see 720 is in parallel to 420, 640 is in parallel to 840. So this is how the circuit looks like. Now 720 parallel to 420 will give you the value as 720 into 420 divided by 720 plus 420. And again you have in series the combination parallel of 640 and 840. So this will be summed up in this fashion. Now this product and this product divided by these two resistors will give you the value of RTH is equal to 265.26, that is this part of the resistance, plus 640 into 840 whole divided by 640 plus 840 will give you the value as 363.243 ohms. Now we have to sum up these two resistors, which will give you the value of RTH, which is equal to 628, that is 628.503 ohms. So this is how we calculate the R equivalent or R Thevenin's for the given problem. Now once we obtain the value of VTH, RTH, substitute the values in R equivalent circuit. And remember, we have removed the load from the main circuit. So take that load and connect at these two particular points. That is, the value of load resistance is 280 ohms. So that is being connected like this. Now you can see, according to the Thevenin's theorem or Thevenin's equivalent circuit, the complicated circuit can be changed to simple voltage source in series with Thevenin's resistance, and thereby connecting the load resistance to the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Now this is how we have changed the given circuit to this simplified circuit. Now with this we can easily calculate the value of current, which is equal to voltage by resistors. Here the resistors are Thevenin's resistor and the load resistors. Here a small mistake is done. You can see 240 ohms is taken. Actually it should be 280 ohms. So please forgive for this. So we have to apply this voltage divided by these two resistors. With this you are going to get the value of I, which is equal to minus 0.028 amperes. Now whatever we have done here, whether it is right or wrong, let us cross check with any other method. Find out the current through 280 ohms. The same problem. Now we have to apply any other analysis like mesh analysis or node analysis and try to obtain the answer and check the value of current which we have obtained as minus 0.028 amperes, that is what we are getting or not. So this is the given circuit. We have even find out the value of current in 280 ohms. Now I'm taking the loop currents in clockwise direction, this in clockwise direction, this in clockwise direction. And the third current, see, I'm traveling like this, I'm going like this, I'm coming like this, I'm going like this, and I have to come like this. So if at all the current would have flown, this would have the direction of the current. Now if these currents are taken in direction, let us name the loop currents. So I have named the loop currents as I1, I2, I3. Now if at all I want to get the value of current I, it should be I2 minus I3. How you are going to get the value of I is equal to I2 minus I3? This you can check from my previous videos or from my previous classes under circuits and networks or engineering basics for coming years. Here you can find out the different ways in which we have find out the value of branch current depending upon the loop currents. Okay. Now let us apply KVL to loop 1. So I have selected I1 as loop 1. You can see minus 128 volts. It has started from here. Then it has gone to 720. 720 shared by the loop currents I1 and I3. So 720 I1 minus I3 plus 420 I1 minus I2 is equal to 0. Simplifying this equation, I am going to get 1140 I1 minus 420 I2 minus 720 I3 is equal to 128. This is the value of voltage by obtained using mesh analysis. Now applying KVL to loop 2. Loop 2 means this loop. So you are going to get 420. You can see 420 is I2 minus I1. So I am going to write here as minus 420 I1 because 420 I2 minus I1. So I have just replaced the value minus 420 I1 plus some of the values of the loop branches which are present in this particular loop 2, that is 420, 280, 840. 280, 840, 420 will give you the value as 1540 or 1540 I2 minus 280, because when you are going to calculate or estimate the branch current through 280 ohms, it would be I2 difference I3. Since I'm dealing with the loop 2, so dominating current is I2, least dominating current is I3, so that is why minus 280 I3, that is equal to 0. Similarly, I'm going to apply KVL to loop 3, this particular loop. When I'm going to apply this loop, that I3 will be dominating current. Now, if this is the dominating current, all the values which are associated with I3, 720, 640, 280 will be summed up for I3, and the rest of the two currents will be of negative sign because this is the dominating loop, right? So minus 720 I1 minus 280 I2 plus the sum of these three resistors 1640 I3 equal to 0. Now these three equations you can name as equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. Solving these three equations, you are going to get the value of I1 which is equal to 0.204 amperes, I2 is equal to 0.074 amperes, I3 is equal to 0.1024 amperes. Now we need to evaluate the value of current, that is the branch current, which is flowing in 280 ohms. So it should be the difference of I2 minus I3. Since the direction of loop current I2 and the given branch current directions are aligned in the same directions, so I'm going to get the value of I, which is equal to I2 minus I3. I2 is 0.074 minus 0.1024 amperes, which you're going to get the value as minus 0.0284 amperes. So this is how we cross-check our result using mesh analysis. You can also cross-check the analysis with the help of node analysis. I hope you understand these 2 points. Remember, while calculating the values of currents in the previous case, for particularly this load resistance, which is 280 over here, it is mistakenly written as 240. This is the point we need to concentrate. Here it should be 280 ohms. Okay, I hope you understand this procedure of estimating the values of currents I1, I2, I3 using mesh analysis and thereby finding out the branch current, which is equivalent to minus 0.0284 amperes. Now let us focus this theorem on this particular circuit. Now you can see we need to find out the value of current in 5 ohms using Thevenin's theorem. Now this particular example will again give us the importance of this Thevenin's theorem, where we need to find out the value of current in 5 ohms by removing this 5 ohms and finally finding out the value of current using Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Okay, so you can see we have 100, 40, 20, 30, 50. All the active voltage sources are connected in different fashions and we need to find out the value of current in 5 ohms. So very good problem. How do you solve this? So I told you any problem can be solved in many ways. Let us start with Thevenin's theorem because we are concentrating on Thevenin's theorem. So we are going to remove the load from the given circuit. Then we are going to find out V Thevenin's and R Thevenin's. And finally, we are going to connect the load to the Thevenin's equivalent circuit and then we'll estimate the value of current. Now we are going with the step 1. I have removed the load from the given circuit and I'm going to find out the V Thevenin's. So V Thevenin's is supposed to be obtained at these two particular points. Now careful observation you have to make in this particular problem. See here, positive sign is assigned to this particular branch. This particular branch is open circuited at this particular terminal. Now this is going to this particular resistance 20. 20 is in parallel to 100 voltage and 20 is also in parallel with 40 and 6 ohm in series. Now we have to remember the main concept over here. Here the voltage in parallel circuit will remain the same. Since 100, 20, 40 with 6 ohms all are in parallel. So the dominating voltage will be 100 volts. So this particular 20 and 40 in series with 6 ohms can be eliminated with 100 volts. The same logic you can apply on the left side of this particular V Thevenin's. You can see 7 ohms is in parallel with 50 volts and 50 volts in parallel with 7 ohms is again in parallel combinations again in series of 30 and 4 ohms. Now overall you have 50 which is parallelly connected to these two branches. So I can take the voltage directly as 50 on the left hand side and 100 volts on the right hand side, and anyhow I have obtained the 20 volts in series with 10 ohms, but this 10 ohms in series, since it's an open circuit, it is going to be least bothered and we have to take all the voltages which are present in this particular circuit. Now these are the identifying points of the parallel network. Now you can see how I have changed. I have changed 100, I have changed 50, I have taken 20, I have taken VTH. So this is how the circuit gets simplified, and that is a main application of Thevenin's theorem. The complicated circuit has been reduced to simpler circuit and we can easily obtain the value of V Thevenin's by applying KVL as minus 100 plus VTH plus 50 minus 20 is equal to 0. With this, I'm going to obtain the value of open circuit voltage or Thevenin's voltage as 70 volts. Very important step. You can cross check by looking at my video. Now let us go with the next step. I have to calculate RThevenin's. For calculating RThevenin's, the same logic I have to apply. First, observe the voltage source 100 volts is dominating this parallel circuit. 50 volts is dominating this parallel circuit, and that has to be short circuited first. That is the main criteria. Once this is shorted, the short voltage will be applied across 20 ohms in parallel with 40 in series with 6. The same thing, if 50 volts is shorted, the 7 ohms will be shorted, 30 in series with 4 ohms will be shorted, and if these two are shorted, 20 volts is also shorted, then the total resistance is obtained by obtaining voltage source to be shorted and current sources to be open circuited. Fortunately, we don't have any current source over here, so I'm going to apply the logic here and I'm going to get the value of RTH is equal to 10 ohms. Now that is the beauty of Thevenin's theorem. So directly you can see the short wire are dominating because the current will travel in the least resistance path. So here you have resistors parallelly, so they are being shorted on both sides. Therefore, R Thevenin is 10 ohms. Once we obtain the value of R Thevenin and V Thevenin, we have connected the Thevenin's equivalent circuit and we have connected the R load. When R load is connected, we can find out the value of current, loop current, as well as the branch current, which is one and the same. That is 70 divided by 70, that is Thevenin's voltage, divided by R Thevenin in series with R load. So I'm going to get the value of current is equal to 4.66 amperes. So this is how we solve a complicated circuit in a simpler fashion using Thevenin's theorem. Whatever answer we got, that is the calculation of current in 5 ohms using Thevenin's theorem, let us cross-examine with some other method. Now I'm going to apply mesh analysis. When I'm going to apply mesh analysis, so this is the mesh I am selected. Actually, you can see this is a series circuit. In between the series circuit, you have the parallel circuits. So the parallel circuits are dominated by the voltage sources. So I'm going to apply KVL to this loop. I'm going to start with minus 20, then I'll go with minus 100, then I'm going to have 5i, another drop over here, then I'm going to have 50, that is a dominating voltage to this parallel circuit, and this is how the loop current flows. If that is true, minus 20 minus 100 plus 5i plus 50 plus 10i equal to 0. With this, I'm going to get 15i is equal to 70, and therefore I is equal to 4.66 amperes. So you can see I have applied mesh analysis to obtain the solution for this particular circuit, and this is the same answer what we got using Thevenin's theorem. Let us go with another method, that is applying KCL to these particular nodes. So I have identified two nodes in this series circuit. I have identified two nodes where the parallel branches are placed. So I'm identifying as node A, node B, and I'm concentrating on node A. I'm going to get the solution for this entire network. I can also concentrate on node B and I can get the same solution. You can cross check the result with node B. Let us start with node A. So applying KCL to node A, in fact, node A voltage is equal to 100 volts. Okay, so since we are going to apply KCL, so VA minus VB to this series circuit, 20 is also connected, and the upper plate is on dominating least dominating point of node A. So plus 20 divided by, you can see the voltages we have taken over here, so no need of concentrating on the rest of the resistors and the voltage sources. The main dominating voltage sources are taken over here. The rest of the resistors are upper resistance 5 ohm, lower resistance 10 ohm. So VA minus VB plus 20 divided by 5 plus 10 is the value of current of this entire circuit. Just replace the values of VA and VB. VA is 100, VB is 50. So with this, I'm going to get the value of current, which is equal to 4.66 amperes. So as you have seen, whether we employ Thevenin's theorem, mesh analysis, node analysis, whatever the branch current we are calculating, that always has to be obtained the same result. So this is how we cross-check the result, and this is how we understand the concepts of circuits and networks. So in today's class, we have seen the Thevenin's theorem following the class 2 with different examples. And if at all you like this video, please share among your friends, subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon for the future notifications. Thank you.